have happened within that period.
Sure, I agree with you. But of course, they have the data, and that's the Ghana Armed Forces.
Yeah.
You know the proportion of those who are, let's say, under 25.
Yeah.
Even at that period. 10 years has passed. How many of those are under 25? We know that for drivers and mechanics, within the Ghana Armed Forces, the cutoff age is 35.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're into the infantry side, then it's 25. If you're officers, and of course, officers have what we call enlistment.
Enlistment.
And then we have recruitment, which is what we're dealing with here. So those are very valid points for us to interrogate why the Ghana Armed Forces did that. Is it because the 10,000, let's say, on the waiting list are now too old? You know, because you qualify them. So we know that in terms of academic qualifications, they are okay. Because the qualification stage is purely on the data you input in. You know, your height, you know, your weight, your academic record, and your age. That's what will qualify you initially. Then when you get to LWAC or Cape Coast or Ashanti region, where they had at the Baba Yara Stadium, that's when the body selection, army personnel will now look at your body physique. This is the body selection. Whether indeed what you put on paper matches the reality. Do you really have those qualifications? Are you really this height? And that's where they start to do the filtering of it there. It's a valid question that you put, Nana, to fore, but per your question to me, these are the things that we have to interrogate. Then in terms of the reform, once we learn from our errors, our mistakes, we can only grow as a nation. And so what do we need to do? There is already a regulated, not deregulated, decentralized, thank you, Nana, recruitment process. So it's not about the decentralization. It's about how you can manage the volumes at those places. And there's so many ways to do it. As I say, everything is on record. So you have the data, that's Ghana Armed Forces. And you can say that, okay, all those who are 19 and 20, please come on this date. And nothing's been done. Others say by sector, you know. And to the Ghana Armed Forces credit, they're saying that Navy should come, after Navy, then Ghana Armed Forces, and so on. So at least you are now compartmentalizing. Instead of everybody coming, then you have a bottleneck. And it's the bottleneck coupled with the indiscipline of the few when the gates were open that led to this tragedy. So I don't want to, in my commentary, somehow criticize Ghana Armed Forces and say, why did you drop the ball? Because this has been done throughout the process for many, many years without this incident. But unfortunately, per the reports we're getting, once the gates were open, and you saw the visuals, you were there. People were climbing, you know. Now, were they climbing to escape the stampede? Or was it what triggered, you know, others to then say they're getting ahead of us? And I want to say that this is how we can cure the tragedy moving forward. Have a way in which the volumes are properly managed so that not everybody comes at once. Informed by a text message on WhatsApp that you, applicant A, please come on this day. So if you know that you can manage a crowd of at least 5,000 applications per center, inform those 5,000 you are due to come on this date and extend the period of recruitment so you can accommodate all the 60,000. And by sending out that message, don't send it out because some people will still try to beat the system. We know ourselves. So you have people in the queue, I'm talking military personnel, who will check your application document or your phone if it's a message to see that whether or not you are there on the due date or whether you've come at the wrong time. So prior to the gates being open, you can start to eject and filter people who should not be in the queue, saying that you're too early. Much like when you're going to fly out of the country, the airport will tell you the time to come. Everybody can't come at the same time. The airport will be congested. So it tells you, please come 2 hours or 3 hours before your departure. And every airline does that. So it's managed. There's never a congestion. And you just apply the same procedures. But again, I don't want to beat the Ghana Armed Forces on this. Because when somebody's been doing something so well throughout the years, and this recruitment exercise, Nana, and per the reports, it was a few individuals. Had we as Ghanaians been disciplined, and if you want to join the army, the first thing you need is character and discipline.
True.
The indiscipline of those individuals who started to push, causing this stampede, shows that you're not even fit for the sector that you say you want to join. Discipline needs to be part of your persona, part of your personality, to wait in line, no matter the fact that you've queued or slept at the venue from 2 a.m., as some of them had. Maintain
some from 11 p.m. the night before.
Yes. And again, I want to give credit to all the applicants. The vast majority, if I was to pluck a figure out of the air, I'd say 99% were disciplined. But in a stampede, it only takes one or two, and then it's like a domino effect. So again, let's commend the majority of Ghanaian young men and women who came there with the right frame of mind, but unfortunately, a few individuals, led to the tragic loss of life. And these, I think, are, in terms of my contribution, what we can do moving forward. The Ghana Armed Forces needs to reassess, one, do you need to open out the recruitment portal every single year? Two, if you do, and you recognize that you have 10,000 applications, shut the portal off. Shut it off.
Once you hit the mark.
Once you hit the mark, you know that I need 4,000. At least maybe 12,000 is enough. 3-to-1 ratio should be enough to find the people you need. So when you get 12,000, close the portal and manage the process.
It points to some concerns that I've picked up regarding why it is allowed to grow to the numbers of the 60,000 that we're seeing. Concerns regarding the sale of the forms. This year, I think the forms were sold for about 30 Ghana cedis.
Was it not 200? I heard I read that it was 350 before.
Yes.
And then there was a 40% reduction to 200 cedis.
So multiply that by 60,000. When indeed we're looking for just 4,000.
Yes.
Is it just a way to make money?
In part, yes, because it comes out to around 12.5 million cedis. Now, 12.5 million cedis spread over the 16 regions or so. You can't tell me that you're close to 1 million cedis to actually man those centers.
I mean, you're going to have administrative costs and all, but is that going to call you 12.5?
No, I don't think so. And if the Ghana Armed Forces want to help the conversation and the investigation about how we can reform the sector moving forward, they should give us an audit of their costs. The personnel who man it are employed by you anyway. So there's no labor costs. You cannot in any way, shape or form tell me that a military officer or soldier who has been assigned to oversee recruitment at Elwak, Cape Coast, Ashanti region, Tamale, has to be paid an additional salary. I beg to differ. And I don't, so labor cost is out. Administratively, yes. Because when you're doing these checks, there are certain inputs that need to be done. And so they should give us an itemized list of their costs in order to justify the amount of revenue that they are making. Definitely there's a cost to it. But that will then lend to the argument as to whether they are keeping the portal open for longer than is necessary to meet those administrative costs. Definitely. So you're right on that, Nana.
Right. And then there's a public health assessment that should have been done. Because if you're converging or you're inviting these numbers to a place, you should know how many personnel you yourself are deploying to manage these numbers, how many people you can take at a particular place at a particular time, what structures or even arrangements are you making to manage traffic within the area, because yesterday the traffic was crazy. So I don't know, we do not want to be too hard on the Ghana Armed Forces, but clearly there was a lapse somewhere.
Surely. And again, in terms of the reform, how many military barracks do we have? I'm from Teshi, as you know. So we have Teshi Barracks, and then you have, of course, Michel Camp, as you're going towards Tema, going towards Sogakope, do you get me? And then, of course, you have the, is it the one in Tamale? Is it Bundo? Anyway, I'm sure those who are watching can advise me. But you know the Gonda Barracks. Gonda Barracks.
I should think so.
It's Gonda Barracks. It's Gonda Barracks. I remember when we were campaigning. Gonda barracks. I'm just saying that we have barracks throughout the regions. So now instead of doing these, everybody come to Baba Yara Stadium. Everybody come to Cape Coast Stadium. Everybody come to LWAC, the main centers. Use the barracks, the place in which these applicants will be, to help to, how can I call it, not filter, but to divide, lessen the congestion.
Exactly.
I'm not saying don't do LWAC. Don't take 60,000 at LWAC. Take maybe 2,000 at LWAC, another 2,000 at Michel Camp, another 2,000 at Teshi Barracks, and so on and so on. You get my my commentary here. When you do that nationwide, one, it also assists, as you mentioned, traffic flow.
Yeah.
Because now not 5,000 people at Michel Camp. It's divided between Michel Camp, Teshi, and LWAC. I'm just using Accra in my contribution here. And likewise, the same for all the other regions. So again, the military have to alert their minds. Let's not just do a case of whereby we instruct applicants to come on certain days. Increase your venues and your locations, and use your very facilities as a point of recruitment. You know, and I think they should actually do that. That will help.
So earlier on, I mean, I was alluding to a two-track recruitment system. We know it's decentralized, but could we have a two-track recruitment system where one, candidates can apply through, if you like, as you mentioned, localized centers using military bases and barracks, where there will be officers to actually administer the documentation and the body checks and all that. So it's done through the barrack system, and it reduces the numbers there. Whilst you're going through it, the numbers are reducing, because clearly it's not everybody that will go past this particular stage. And then another suggestion that I have, which I think should work, is I'm not sure why we're doing a one-off exercise. Can we have a year-round exercise? Spread it across the year. So you know, you open the portal, so you know when who registered, right? So say within the first 3 weeks of opening the portal, we had this number, say 12,000. So we'll have them come in the first month of the year. And spread it across the entire year. Helps reduce the overcrowding and prevent some of the things we saw yesterday.
I fully agree. You know, the military as a vocation is something that we all have to support.
True.
These are the men and women who, when we are sleeping comfortably under our blankets, they are at post. Either if not serving in Ghana, they're serving in other areas.
Peacekeeping missions.
Yes, peacekeeping missions, other theaters of the world. And they do Ghana so proud. I know Ghana has a very high reputation in terms of the military industrial complexes around the world, in terms of the quality and the professionalism of our men and women in the armed services. So again, I want to celebrate them at all points in my submission here. But nobody's perfect.
Indeed.
You know, clearly there was a case of crowd management lapses.
True.
And military personnel, you are trained to have that authority in your voice. You know, when a military person says, attention, you know, whether you have any military training or not, they can whip you in line. You can be as fresh as an infantryman or woman, but their presence was not felt clearly. Again, having said that, the numbers were overwhelming, and maybe the lapses were due to complacency and not monitoring the situation. Prior to the gates opening, you could clearly see, because we were driving on that Giffard Road, from 37 all the way down to Labadi Beach Hotel. That's the Giffard Road. So the traffic that we saw, huge, and you mentioned it. So of course, the military personnel was alert to the traffic there caused by the numbers of people. That should have alerted them to at least started to manage the process.
True.
You know, again, it's in hindsight. Again, we're talking as if the military have not done this perfectly before. You know, we have to balance our commentary. You know, when you do something fantastic, nobody gives you credit. The moment something goes wrong, then everybody wants to, you know, rain hell on you. Because
it's worrying that we've seen you do it consistently over the period. So what went wrong this time round?
Yes, clearly they're individuals.
Exactly.
It's always,
and that's why we need to identify what went wrong so it does not repeat itself.
Yes, clearly there were some individuals again, we have 39% youth unemployment in Ghana. So you can imagine frustrations.
Yes, I was going to come to that, whether it was actually passion or desperation.
A combination of the two. A passionate person would not be so indisciplined. You can exhibit your passion in a way that does not endanger life and lead to loss of life. But desperation, somebody who's desperate, panicking, they've opened the gates. And that is not where the recruitment takes place.
Indeed.
It's just an administrative process.
Yeah.
In fact, the second from your application, this is the next level of filtering.
So this is actually no guarantee.
Yeah, no guarantee. Whether you get in, and everybody will be allowed, again, so that it's not repeated. Let me mention to all the applicants, when the gates, again, other centers are reopened, understand this, please, Ofane, listen and understand this to all applicants. The stadiums are not where you get recruited.
Yeah.
It's where they assess your capacity and ability to be even considered for body check, which is the medical one. By the time you are recruited, we're now in November, it'll be normally around March or April of next year when you are given confirmation that you have passed, because there are other interviews to come. So when the centers are opened, please don't rush. I know you won't, because that's not where the recruitment will take place. Please, I want all the applicants to understand that. Confirmation of who has passed the various rigorous tests, checks and balances, because they will check with WAEC.
They'll do background checks.
Do background check. The qualification said you have. Do you really have it?
Yeah.
All these things take time, and it'll be around next year, April or May, before those applicants we are seeing queuing up today on our screens will have confirmation that they are in the armed service, which lends itself to what you're saying. Why not have it year round?
Exactly.
Because it's not like school where everybody has to start in October, university, or either January.
It's not an enrollment, it's a recruitment.
It's a recruitment. And you can stagger it, spread it over the year, you know. And as I mentioned, we have 10,000 already on wait list.
Exactly.
So if you stagger it, you're just giving a nice backlog so that when opportunities arise, Ghana Armed Forces, subject to Ministry of Finance, the two would need to work together and say, okay, let's have another 3,000 employed or enlisted, recruited in these sectors.
Well, Ibrahim, let's look at the kind of response the unfortunate incident generated.
Yeah.
We saw the president move to 37 military hospital together with a high-powered delegation. What do you make of that?
It's very good. That's what leadership should do. Leadership has to be where the core issues of the day are. When you show concern, and beyond showing concern, you give directives to cure an emergency as grave as that was. And straight away, the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, stated that all the centers should be closed. That's a fantastic move. It helps to sanitize and let everybody know that something has gone wrong and we need to make sure there's no cut and paste in other centers. Beyond ceasing the recruitment process, it also lends itself to being emotionally sensitive to the families and also individuals. Let's not think, Nana, that 6 people have died and that's it.
That's it.
Hundreds more, maybe thousands more inside have been traumatized. The fact that some did not die, you know, I think we have 12 critically ill. What about the 100, 200, 300 or 500 who was being pushed, but by grace of God managed to escape the stampede? Do we think that they've not been traumatized?
Indeed. What about those who have traveled distances with their last penny to come with the expectation of going through the process and returning?
Sure. So the cessation of recruitment by the president helps to help those traumatized that, okay, my experience is being well thought of, captured or accommodated. Because if it's business as usual and I'm traumatized, and I say, hey, which kind of country did I came to serve? Something has happened and everybody will be everybody continues normal.
Business as usual.
So I commend the president in terms of how he expressed concern and the directives that were given. And I think generally you'll find that most leaders would have done the same and do the same. We've had emergencies there, but in this particular You're asking me a direct question, I'm giving you a direct answer. We commend the president for the leadership and concern that was shown.
And there were statements made in Parliament as well.
Yes.
Yes, two from Nsawam Adjei MP, another prayer.
Yeah.
One from Ketu North, that's Edem Agbana. And then, of course, the subsequent commentary on the floor. Then the acting defense minister, Kesi Olato-Forson, appeared before the House to make a statement. He announced the formation of an internal board to investigate what led to the stampede, and then, of course, compensation for victims. Swift act?
It's good. When something like this happens, the initial moments, it's not, unless there's something, a glaring mistake from government or administration or the sector involved. I'm talking here Ghana Armed Forces. It's not the space to criticize and berate.
Yeah.
Where we need to draw attention, we'll do so forcibly and use language that is constructive, but also deliberate. You don't want to be so soft in our critique of the Ghana Armed Forces or government, you know, in the initial phases.
Yeah.
We want to be constructive. Something has happened, we don't understand why it happened.
True.
So before we start attacking or defending, because some people like to do that.
Yeah.
Nothing went wrong. No, something has gone wrong, and let us look into how we can make it better and prevent it from happening again, because this has never happened before. So, in terms of what Honorable Olato-Forson mentioned, we support these initiatives to help us reach a solution, an understanding of what has happened, and it will help us moving forward.
Very well. Very well. Send us your thoughts, your comments, and contributions on this matter, and we'll do our best to read them. A few messages here. This one says, good morning. I am Okain from Bantama in the Senate West District. The numbers and logistics seem to have been poorly managed. Inviting over 80,000, no, I don't think there were 80,000, 60,000 across the country, people to assemble at once at Elwak Park. Again, it was spread across the country, not 60,000 at Elwak. It's indeed chaos. Staggering the process in batches or holding regional events. Again, it was simultaneous across the regions. Would have been more practical and safer. But I get what you're saying. The lack of effective planning and oversight is concerning. Granting amnesty enrollment to the relatives of the departed applicants is a way to honor their memory. And you say Ken is our hope. Okay. Good morning, Nana. The comment made by the MP for Pusiga on the GAF recruitment that it was ordained by Allah was palpably incorrect. Allah says he will not change the conditions of people until they change it themselves. So what happened yesterday was a human error. Why would she then blame Allah? This is Ahmed from Nima. Now, I'll ask you about that. Just give me a second. Considering the many years the Ghana Armed Forces has been in existence and the extensive experience it has accumulated as an institution, it is heartbreaking to see a tragedy like the recent stampede occur during the recruitment process in the 21st century. This sad event has changed the way I view the Ghana Armed Forces. Oh, come on, it's early days yet. Especially when we have long regarded it as one of the country's finest institutions. We still do, actually, we beg you. And among the best military forces in the world. This should never ever happen to us as a nation again. Aminu from Nsawam. Aminu, we beg you, don't change any perception. This is just one out of a trillion. Good morning to the Best Morning Show. I think the problem is allowing all of them to come together at Elwak. It has always been like this year by year, just that they don't record death cases. The fiscal body selection is something that needs to be done. Even in advanced countries, they do it. The only problem in Ghana right now is the fact that the army always calls for everybody to come. But the statement the female MP for Pusiga made saying that it was Allah's will for them to die shows why Ghana, our problem is religion. This is Agama from Teshi. So Agama is in your backyard. And he also has a comment on the Honorable Ladi and her comment. I don't know if we are overstretching it, if we're just adding sensationalism to it. But her comments, I think, are rooted in religion. From Allah we came and to him we go.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're misinterpreting that, but there's been a barrage of reactions, and Arsenal's being fired at her, if you like. You are Muslim. So your thoughts on what the Honourable MP for Pisiga said?
It's misplaced. It's a wrong
timing?
No, it's not about wrong. Yes, wrong timing. But if you say wrong timing, it suggests it's the right timing. You understand me?
Yeah.
It is misplaced. When it says Allah, and it's true, says that, He will not change a condition of a people until they change themselves.
Yeah.
It's referring stricto sensu to abandoning sin. You are in hardship or a certain particular issue, a problem, changing your moral compass. When you make those moves, then the barakah, the blessing of Allah, will also follow. Do you get me? That's where it is. This one, when you say something is it's destiny, we all have that. And sometimes we blame God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for everything. We ascribe everything to Him. He is the owner of the day of judgment. But He's given us free will. So you can't say it's the will of Allah. If it's the will of Allah, then we don't have free will. And that is the tenet on which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam. Adam, as we know, Prophet Adam. He gave him free will, different from the angels who He created from light, the Malaika. Okay? The Malaika do what they do regardless. They have no ifs, no buts. Okay? Mankind, which is you and I, we, the children of Adam, have been given free will. That volition is what separates us from the angels. And because we can choose to do better, then that honor, which is why Allah has placed human beings above the angels. In the hierarchy in heavens, we are above angels because of that free will, ability to choose a better path, a better course.
Right.
And so in terms of what the Honourable said, it is misplaced. It is it lacks an understanding of God's, let's say, predestination for all of us. If I comment on it further, it'll be like I'm attacking her.
Right.
So let me just say it's misplaced. It's unfortunate. I can use that word to describe what she said. You minimize the tragedy and say that, somehow you're ascribing fault. You are ascribing fault to those who died. How can that be so? They were not, I believe, the ones who caused the stampede. Others from behind, individuals, and it cascaded like that.
Yeah.
So let me leave my comment there. Otherwise, the conversation will go into a different tangent and say that the Honourable Minister, maybe when she gets the opportunity, she should clarify and, for her own sake, render a retraction and even better, an apology for that particular statement. It was uncalled for and unnecessary.